If these allegations are true, it should make the court wonder if she will behave this way with a grown woman she doesn't even know in public. How would she behave behind closed doors with a 5-year-old little girl? Straight out to George Spencer with WFTV. George, what happened?
Nancy, the hard to explain just keeps happening in this case. It was early yesterday morning, actually late morning, about 11 a.m. Seminole County deputies got a 911 call from that driver, those tapes that we were just listening to, and that driver is in panic mode. She's driving eastbound on I-4, which is sort of east away from the Orlando metro area in some of our more suburban areas, and she sees this blue car that, for whatever reason, she believes she might have cut this car off earlier down the road. The car starts circling her, honking at her. The people inside start yelling obscenities, shouting at her. And at one point, most frightening of all, this driver says she thought she even saw the 2 women inside that car flash a gun as they're driving. Now, keep in mind, this is one of the most busy highways in our area. It's the major throughway kind of north and east out of Orlando up towards Daytona. So one of the women in that car turned out to be Misty Croslin.
With me right now and taking your calls live is the alleged victim in this case, Courtney Ballinger, accusing Misty Croslin of threatening her on the road, flipping her off, shooting a bird at her, threatening to beat her. Miss Ballinger, thank you for being with us.
Hi, good evening.
Miss Ballinger, I heard the 911 call, but tell me again what happened. How do you believe this whole thing started? You cut somebody off?
You know, I don't really know how it started. I was working, and all of a sudden the car came up next to me with the driver hanging half out of the window, and it progressed from there.
The driver hanging out of the window doing what?
Just basically saying over and over again, you know, we're going to beat you up. You're dead. You're dead. She was hanging out. Both of her hands were out of the window, waist up out of the car, telling me to roll my window down. It was pretty intense. I mean, we were going about 80 miles an hour in lunch hour traffic. It was a very dangerous situation that escalated very quickly.
In lunch hour traffic, the driver's hanging out the window, both hands out the window. What? Shooting a bird at you, flipping off? What? What was she doing with her 2 hands?
Well, one, she was motioning for me to roll down the window, and the next one, you know, she was just basically pointing at me, waving her finger, just, you know, trying to scare me.
What was the other one doing? What, steering?
You know, it was just so fast, I wasn't really paying attention to what the other one was doing. I just wanted it to go away, and I was, you know, for the first 10 minutes, this happened for about a half hour. The first 10 minutes, you know, I was working. I was like, you know, whatever, obviously they're angry, whatever. I tried to ignore them, but after about 10 to 12 minutes, that's when, you know, I had tried several times to speed up and get away from them, but they were relentless. They would not let me go.
Miss Ballinger, why didn't they at least issue a citation?
You know, I don't really know why no charges were filed. I wasn't asked if I wanted to press charges. Basically, you know, the police officers came up and told me what happened and said they don't have any weapons. You know, are you okay to drive? And I said, yes, I'm okay. And I said, does that mean I can leave? And they said, yeah, you can leave whenever you want. And I left immediately. So, you know, I think if I would have stayed, I probably could have, you know, done something. But I was so shaken at that point, I just wanted to get back to my day.
Well, let me ask you this. You said you know charges are being filed. What do you mean by that? That you called police?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
Yeah, you said, I know charges were filed. What do you mean by that? That you called police? I mean, is there going to be follow-up? What's going to happen now?
No, I don't think charges, well, actually, charges were not filed, and I don't plan on filing any. You know, I just wanted to be rescued from the situation. I wasn't really trying to get anyone in trouble. I just wanted to get out of there.
Are you familiar with the search for Haleigh Cummings?
You know, I wasn't really familiar with it. I'd heard that name, Haleigh Cummings, before, but, you know, it wasn't until all the news reporters started contacting me that I even know who this person was or anything. I had no idea it was her. I was shocked. I had no idea.
Joining me on the lines, Tony in Pennsylvania. Hi, dear. Oh, excuse me. Janice, California. Hi. What's your question?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, dear.
I'm kind of wondering, maybe this Courtney made a gesture to Misty, and then, maybe got Misty wound up, and that's why Misty kind of flew up in a rage.
Can I ask you something, Jennifer?
Yeah.
What makes you think that this woman made a gesture at the other car? I mean, have you heard a fact or any suggestion of that? I mean, are you just making that up? I mean, why do you think that's what caused this?
Well, because of the story that this Courtney made. She could have stuck around and made, did charges.
Okay, that makes sense, Jennifer. Courtney Ballinger, the alleged victim in this case, all signs point to the fact that you believed you were the victim. You're the one that called 911. You're the one that pulled over to the side of the road for police to show up. If you had been the wrongdoer, I doubt highly that you would have called police and then stuck around for them to show up. But let's talk about Jennifer's question. Why didn't you stick around to finish up the process and file charges?
I wasn't asked to stick around and file charges. I thought that the police would handle it from there. And like I said, I did nothing to provoke them. I was working. I'm in sales. I was driving to my next client.
Gotcha.
I was trying to make it there before 12 o'clock.